Before feedlots, grocery stores, and steakhouses, how did people get their meat? They hunted for it. This speech will explain the history, benefits, and some of the dangers that go along with hunting wild game. First off, the history. Hunting has dated back to around 40,000 BC, according to Dr. Karen Carr, associate professor at the University of Portland. This is around the Old Stone Age when the weapons they used were sticks and stones and they stalked to kill, according to the University of Texas at Austin. Another well-known group of hunters were the Native Americans, which mostly hunted buffalo and deer with their arrowheads and homemade bows and arrows. These people hunted for survival, which meant they hunted day to day for their own survival and their own food. This is their way of life, and this is how they had to live without refrigerators and the technology that we have today, where we can store our food for longer periods of time, so they had to hunt for it. Hunting has lasted so long because of the many benefits on the environment and on the human body. Some of the benefits, hunting teaches patience and responsibility. First off, you have to practice to be a good hunter, and if you're not and you want to be where you are, then you have to just keep practicing, and this is teaching you patience as you go along. Sitting in a tree stand waiting for wild game, that teaches you patience too, because one day you might see 20 deer and one day you might see 0 deer, and sometimes it's frustrating, but you learn to deal with it and you gain patience. Another key thing that hunting teaches you is responsibility. To hunt, you have to be very safe and responsible, which is a big part of hunting, because if you're not, then you're dangerous to the people around you, and no one wants to hunt with you. It's not fun, so you have to be responsible and safe. Another benefit to hunting is the conservation of wildlife. Hunting keeps wildlife numbers under control. An example is there's too many deer running around the countryside eating all the farmers' crops. Then the hunters eliminate some of the deer and the crops can continue to grow but without as much damage. There's still some deer left, but it solves some problems for the farmers. The combination of Hunters to Wildlife Agency's conservation mission is long, wide, and deep. No one has restored more wildlife than hunters, according to the Conservation Force. Another benefit to hunting is the sport. Hunting is very thrilling and challenging at the same time, and it's a great hobby to take up because of it. Like I said earlier, with the practice, it's very rewarding when you take your first wild game after all the practice and hard work that you've put in. According to the Texas Hunting and Fishing Network, hunting also relieves stress from day to day. Getting out in the outdoors and getting away from society, it it does help relieve stress. It takes your mind away from all the things you have going on in your life and just focuses on something that connects you with your past and the history behind hunting. Besides the benefits, there are some dangers that go along with hunting, such as weapon injuries. Guns are the number one thing that is unsafe about hunting. If they're not properly handled or they could misfire, then that's very dangerous for hunters or anybody around. Another thing that another weapon injury is knives. You have to use a knife to clean the wild game, and I've experienced this firsthand, getting cut while cleaning, and I've learned the hard way I now know that how to properly use a knife. There are 12 accidents in Nebraska in 2011 related to hunting, according to the Nebraska Game Parks Commission, and only one of them was not gun related. Another danger with hunting is wildlife attacks. I've heard of many people getting mauled, or not many people, but a few people getting mauled by bears or mountain lions. When you go into their territory, you have to know that the dangerous animals in the area, and that teaches you the safety, and if you know the proper techniques, you can avoid those situations. Other dangers are ignorant hunters, are unsafe hunters because they don't know what's around them, and if they are unsafe, then they could kill somebody. According to the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, one of the accidents in Nebraska, one man thought his hunting companion was a deer and he shot him to death on accident. Although there are some dangers that go along with hunting, the history and the benefits that hunting has on its side far outweigh the dangers. Hunting has come a long ways since the nomads and cave dwellers dominated the land, and it is a big piece of history and survival for all walks of life.